Hey everyone, this is Austin Schur here with We Write About Music, and today I'm here with Andrew Bailey, who is much better known as just Andy. Released last month on March 19th, his latest single, SpeedRacer, is out, and it's pretty amazing. Andy, thank you so much for being here today. How are you doing? What's going on by you?
Man, another day, another perspective. Thank you for having me.
Oh man, super happy to have you. Obviously, the first thing I want to talk about here is how much I love the single.
Oh yeah.
There is a ton going on, genre wise, production wise. Can you kind of break down the genre influences for me? There's a lot going on here. I feel like you have a lot to say about it.
Yeah. Growing up, I listened to all the way from, gospel music, and it was a very heavy Christian household. So I
Okay.
listened to a lot of gospel music. Growing up, going in my teens, I listened to a lot of punk rock.
Oh,
And then,
really?
yeah, a little bit of
Okay.
experimental as well.
Nice.
And just a lot of crazy stuff. I just wanted to open my mind to like what other genres music had to offer. Rap came actually later, wanting to do it, and that's when I started listening to like different types of rap, neo soul as well, and
Okay.
R&B, and I wanted to just fuse things together. So, boom.
It really doesn't like toe the line of one thing. And I definitely heard the gospel influence just kind of like overall, like it's not right in your face, but it's definitely there.
Yeah.
What I really love though is I want to talk about the production side of things. It
Okay.
sounds like the song was mixed in outer space, which is like a high compliment. Like, believe me, I know it's hard to get that.
Yeah.
I know nothing about production. I only like fantasize about being able to do all of that.
Yeah.
Can you kind of break down what's going on there?
Well, I really wanted the sound to the influence of a speed racer was kind of like it took me back to a time I remember watching Speed Racer, the actual anime, and I have like a lot of influences from cartoons that I grew up on as like a theme, and so Speed Racer was the theme. And I was like, what does this remind me of? And the character has like a love interest, and I
Yeah.
had recently been going through a lot of relationships, and this was just strictly about uh, it was just about finding my way back to someone that I love. Like, hey, I'm better now,
Hmm.
and with that production, um, I needed to feel like I was on an odyssey. I needed that interstellar, like that journey. That wow,
Yeah.
I'm going through a lot of things mentally, a lot of things physically, emotionally as well. And I feel like all those pieces are kind of like an outer space journey. A lot of my music is theme space because when I was little, I wanted to be a time traveler. So
Dude, who doesn't want to be a time traveler? That
I just want to be
that
a
never
time traveler.
stops. That's not a
Yeah, at
phase you
all.
grow out of.
That's not at all. I
So
wanted the
funny.
time machine and everything. So the DeLorean on the
Awesome.
cover says it
Right,
all.
right.
Yeah.
That's
And
super cool.
yeah, I did a lot with just trying to focus on making sure music is an escape, making sure that it's an escape, making sure that
Yeah.
um you don't like you get lost for those 3 minutes or those 2 minutes,
Hmm.
and you go back to reality and kind of be like, that was kind of fun. Like just have that small experience.
Yeah. I mean, of the music of yours that I've listened to so far, it does have that kind of lighthearted feel to it. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't take itself too seriously and it's meant to be having fun. So what if that's what you're going for, you've
Yeah.
absolutely nailed it.
Thank you.
So keep that up. I wanted to say though, so you've already released an album this year.
Yeah, debut EP.
Yeah. Okay. So this looks to be the follow-up single. And my question here is this a B-side from those recordings, or is this
Mm.
something new?
This is something new. This is I would like to say, it's kind of like a like not necessarily a prequel, maybe like more like a sequel, like what happens after or during. Because
Okay.
what I like to do is I like to make projects and to have a little bit of filler episodes, these small little
Hmm.
pieces of content to know more about me deeply. So when you get to the other project, you kind of know that journey already.
Okay.
So yeah.
That's really cool. Okay. So clearly we're in April at this point. So you're just cranking out music left and right.
Crank.
You got you got the EP out, the singles
Yeah.
out. I don't know how far you plan in advance, but is there anything more on the way?
Yeah, this month I got a new song called "The Chase," so it's still
Damn.
car
Okay.
themed,
I
and
love that.
we're doing I'm kind of doing like experimenting with sounds and what they relate to. So when I think of pop music, I think of love a lot. I think of like lighthearted
Mhm.
puppy love. This song is more like reminiscing on falling in love for the first time, or falling in love with someone that you like really really care about and you really really love. Like this is someone that you're attached to,
Right.
and so the chase kind of represents that poppy feel, and it's just a new layer of me I'm ripping off the rip. So you don't get
Awesome.
surprised when you see me do it again. Yeah.
I'm actually happy you mentioned that because I wanted to go back to one thing you said. Are you going to be looking to experiment with your sound? I know it's tough because it sounds like a lot of your music comes from what you're feeling and like
Mhm.
personal experiences. But as
Mhm.
far as the production side of things and the content, is that something that you're looking to kind of branch out with?
Oh yeah, for sure. I have like a lot of ideas keeping me and my identity solid while um going through different pathways of
Okay.
sound. I do want to expand, but keep that root hip hop oriented.
Got it.
Um, Later along, do some experimental weird monk stuff. Just
Wait,
do
like
some.
what?
I'm like, man, I wanna do like a lot of. Have you heard of Death Grips?
Oh, hell yeah, of course. I've seen Death
Yeah.
Grips. It's one of the
Oh yeah. Like I want to
craziest
do.
shows I've ever witnessed in my life. I'm
I
surprised
want
I'm alive right now.
the rage. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm for that. I'm a rager myself,
Okay.
so I like that sound. I have like a lot of influence from those like in the
Mhm.
background that I want to like slowly, because it's like it's something you just can't dive into. Like you just
Oh
can't
my
listen to
God,
Death Grips and
no.
be like,
No, you'll
"What was
lose your entire
amazing?"
fan base immediately.
Yeah, all
You
of them
can't.
gone. Like,
Yeah. Oh my God. Wow. Do you like clipping? Do you
Clippy.
know
Oh yeah,
clipping?
yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of like a nice little I wouldn't say softer approach to Death Grips, but whatever.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
yeah, not necessarily on this single, but in the grand scheme of sort of everything you've created so far, what are you trying to accomplish?
So my biggest influence is Kanye West. That's my
Okay,
my my idol. Second is Travis Scott, and then third is Kid Cudi. Um,
got it.
I aim for influence. I
Mhm.
believe, and there's a there's a part of me growing up that was very significant to me, and that was during my years of going to school. And I would sit in the background and watch life happen. And I realized that I guess the certain stereotypes that were put upon me and the environment I was did not match. So I wanted to make music for um, the emotional guy. I wanted to look at, I would say, like the silent guy in the back of the classroom, like just release that emotion, like let all of it out. Like it's time for you to talk. And I wanted to tell myself that for years.
Okay.
So now it's more like I want to be one of the most influential artists of my generation. That's what I'm aiming for.
That has to be the
Um,
goal.
it has to be like I don't want to be the king of rap. I don't want to be like I just really want to just be influential and lead a generation with new perspectives and new mindsets, and
Okay.
just create a new world.
Well, I love the artists that you've mentioned here. Obviously, you'd want to strive to sound like them and be like them.
Yeah.
Were there any specific albums, it doesn't even need to be from them, that inspired
Cool.
you to take this path as a musician?
Oh man, you get
It's a
the hard
tough
hit ones for real.
I'm just saying,
Um,
man,
Pick
sometimes
and
you're a kid and
choose.
you're listening and you're like, oh, yeah,
Yeah,
I want to do that. I get it.
yeah. Jesus,
Really? Okay.
Jesus did it for
Not even
me.
that long ago.
Yeah, I mean, there's
20, well,
some.
2010. Yeah.
Yeah, there was some before then. Like, I mean, you can go back to like Tupac and Biggie, of course. Like when it comes to
Sure.
lyricism,
Hmm.
Illmatic to be specific, because
Okay.
Nas has been inspired me to write poetry,
Mm,
and the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill,
okay. Solid.
and Missy Elliott as well. A lot of Missy Elliott.
Gotta love that.
Yeah, Slick Rick, Outkast, Aquemini to be specific. But what really got me to do everything was graduation. Graduation was kind of like the
Yeah.
whole,
I mean,
like here it is.
that changed hip hop in general, I
Yeah,
suppose. Like that changed
yeah,
everything. Everyone wanted that sound, and it was like I think that time of hip hop was more like, okay, we got to have skits and like we got to do
yeah.
this and we got to do that. But like, I don't know, there's something about that album that
Making a
just
movie.
is just
Yeah,
time, it's just timeless.
yeah. This it's very timeless, and I mean, of course, it's like a go-to. I mean, you can add in like the Neptunes and Tyler the Creator as well.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, but like when you go back to like older Kanye and young Kid Cudi, it was just that I'm kind of a skateboarder, but I'm not. type of,
I get that. I get that.
yeah, like that type of vibe. It was just very emotional time. It was a lot of emotions that people weren't used to. Um, if you like look at society, in the African American community, not a lot of men are respected when they're emotional. So when I look up to these people as my heroes, it's because they were allowed to do that while I
Right.
sat back and was kind of like had these expectations of you can't cry and you can't be soft and you can't do this. And so now that I'm able to and I have a voice to do it, why not inspire like a couple thousand people along the way, to do the same?
Exactly. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, think about the grand scale that they're doing on and selling millions of records, and it's being accepted. So
Oh
why
yeah,
can't you?
exactly. And that's
So
literally my mindset.
exactly. So I want to hear a little bit more about your specific process. How do you go about creating a song? What starts off, the journey, I suppose?
Whew. I have a giant imagination, a giant ball of creativity.
I think that's step
And
one.
oh yeah, step one.
It's gotta be.
And movies and TV are the first. And I don't look at the characters as much. I look at the scenery. I look
Sure.
at the emotion of the scene, what plays along the way. Like if you look at Star Wars, for example, I kind of look at certain scenes and what would happen if you put hip hop into it? What would happen if you made a track, not hip hop as in hip hop owning Star Wars, but more like what if Star Wars adopted that? What would that sound like? And
It's a great
what would happen
question.
if you had rap in that galaxy? What would that sound? Because it wouldn't sound like today. It wouldn't sound like what happens today.
Do we know
But
for 100% fact there isn't?
that's
Probably
what,
not. I don't know. It's not really my thing, but
yeah. But now we don't. Now that it's no
you
one's
don't know
taking
for
it up,
sure. It's
I'm gonna
true.
throw my adaptation on it and see what
Okay.
happens. But I look at that with like anime, cartoons. I write within scenes, so I look
Okay.
outside and add what type of soundtrack I want to it. When it comes to writing, uh, I start off with just something that I feel like everyone has said before,
Mhm.
and like have that repetition, like in the pop world.
Sure.
Start off being relatable. How can I be relatable? And then add the flavor, add the character, add the sass,
Of course.
and yeah, yeah, and then really just I aim to make you take drugs without taking drugs. Just listen to it
I
and be
love
like,
that.
whoa, like
Yeah,
just
I
have
wasn't
that
gonna
image.
say it, but it's definitely like going on a psychedelic journey and listening to
Thank
your
you.
music.
I'm
So
glad.
it's about as close as you can get without the real thing, of course.
Right. Yeah.
Do you work on things by yourself? Do you have any friends or other producers or other outside help that comes in to help you sort of like polish up the song overall?
Yes, I do. So, well, for me, I write everything myself, and I write it in my within my room. Um, just it's my world. It's my energy, and I write within that. I have a close friend of mine. Her name is EJ. She helped me create the concept of making a conscious for the EP that I released. So the first few words is the listener's conscience. Like, hey, these are the rules, and listen to me through this whole thing.
Right.
And my audio engineer, Louise, he is just someone who just suggests like, hey, maybe throw this in there, maybe throw this in there. I'm like, all right, we'll see what happens. And then boom, I get more ideas.
There you go.
And but it's mostly me with writing. I like to be very isolated. I like to be very isolated. I like to be in my piece, and I come to the studio ready, and then hey, let's see what this sounds like. If it doesn't sound good, I go back to the drawing board to see what else I can do, and I'm not stopping until it's done because
That's
it's
cool.
if the idea is there, it's a good song.
Right. Well,
If
you have to be
not, you go
honest
back.
with yourself.
Oh yeah, for
You can't
sure.
convince yourself something's good when it's clearly not, but that's all
Yeah,
the experimentation part of it.
exactly. Just see what works.
Right. All right. So tell me this. What do you enjoy the most about being an artist and a creative in general?
I like being the guy that okay, so Andy is a acronym. Also, it's a nickname
Oh,
for my name,
okay.
but Andy's an acronym. ANDY, a never dying youth. Um, it's
Okay.
basically like the popular guy I've always wanted to be in high school. The guy with the
Hmm.
Letterman jacket. He's not afraid to go to the nerds and the geeks and be like, "Here you go, like here, wear my Letterman jacket,"
That's so
and rub
nice.
his head
Because
and
that guy
stay in
usually
school.
sucks. But,
Sometimes
yeah,
I wanted to change it up. I
sure.
wanted to switch up the flavor. I wanted to be like the new Marty McFly, just be
That's
super duper
awesome.
dope, and just be because I'm a goofy guy. I'm sometimes clumsy, but I'd be like the action hero that like is clumsy and somehow he makes it out, but he's destroyed everything along the way. And he's like, "Phew, I made it out alive, and I
That's
solved it all."
too funny. Oh, man.
So,
Do you think that you'll get the opportunity to potentially play any of these songs live as shows, start to trickle in and things get scheduled?
oh man, I hope so. I've
Hmm.
been wanting to perform for so long. I did before, and right when I was like getting my foot in the door, here comes the sniffles, and here comes the virus, and I'm like,
Yeah.
great, Resident Evil, you know.
Yeah,
So
screw up everything.
right when. So
But
hope
you have,
so. It'd be
you have a
great.
whole lot more music that's deserving to be played live. I think the hard part is going to be translating it live, since like listening on
Oh
a
yeah.
nice pair of headphones is it's so tough to bring that into like a venue sound, you know what I mean?
Oh
But
yeah.
and then you also like sometimes you're standing, or most of the time you're standing at a show, but I feel like with your music you just want to like kick back and let it kind of like flow through you.
Yeah.
But I think it would still be great no matter what.
Thank you. Yeah, I want to for sure make a lot of music later on that's very mosh like,
Mhm.
and really just have everyone just escape and just throw their hands and do what they got to do. Just don't kill nobody.
Exactly. That's the number one rule.
Yeah.
I, for one, am 100% looking forward to the Death Grips inspired album that you will eventually put out. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
But you got to ease your listeners in, because I'm telling you too much and they'll run away. They'll run away.
Oh yeah, I'll go lighthearted. Some
There you
fine loaded
go.
stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. That's much more approachable.
Yeah.
So you let me know your inspirations, and this might be a tough one, but if you had to pick one person for a dream collaboration for one song,
Who
who would it be?
who
You do not get two answers, one
Oh, I
answer
do not
only.
get to.
No, you got one
And we're
person.
talking about like a feature or like a production or
Like, you get to utilize the person in any way.
any
Like, they could feature, they could help you with the production side and not feature on the song.
why?
So you got to
Yeah.
pick a well-rounded
Oh
person.
yeah. Gotta be Kanye. Gotta
I
be
think
Kanye.
that's the obvious choice for the production side.
For the production, yeah, I'd use him. I'd use his voice as an instrument, as he would others. I'd
Hmm.
just bring his inspiration into my world and just make things a little bigger.
Okay. Yeah, because you said Jesus was an inspiration, and if you could even get 10% of that fantastic production, then like you're doing
It's
big
just,
things. But whatever the
yeah.
hell he's doing, I
Mm,
we'll never know
we'll
unless we're
never
there.
know.
So we're about, I guess we're like equally a third into this year at this point. And this is always a question I ask. I usually ask, what are some goals that you've set for yourself for the year? But you've
Okay.
already released an album, And you've already released singles and you've already got things planned. So you're way ahead of the game.
Yeah.
What are there any non-musical goals that you've set for yourself as a person?
Yeah. Go out more. Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
Oh,
go out
yeah,
more.
I agree.
Talk
That's my
to
goal
people.
too.
I've been Batman for too long. I've been in this cave and I'm just to and from. I don't really like go to like social gatherings or anything.
Uh-huh.
And it's like I feel like I've disrespected so many people. They're like, "You're 23 and you don't go to bars, you don't go to clubs, da da da."
I don't go
It's
to
just,
bars either. It's a
yeah.
waste of
I
money. I
mean,
can
yeah.
drink at home for free.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Like,
but yeah, I think one would be going out more. Two, I want to teach myself how to rollerblade. Like just
dude, I never learned how to rollerblade either.
yeah,
So
just to
let's
do
do
it.
this. Let's
Yeah.
go in on
Let's
this collective goal for the year.
let's just go ahead and like
I'm
see
in.
if we can't break our ankles.
Exactly. Where do you live, by the way?
I live in Dallas right now, Dallas,
Okay,
Texas.
got it. So I'm in
Yeah.
Los Angeles, so I see people rollerblading on the beach all the time, and I'm always so jealous.
Yeah.
But so you got to come over here and we'll practice
Oh yeah,
rollerblading.
for sure. I'm supposed to be heading to Cali this year. That's funny.
Do it.
So yeah, let's do it.
Sweet. Well, I've only got a couple more questions for you at this point, but
Gotcha.
I want to know, we're, like I said, we're about a third into this year, and this can also go to last year, but what have you been listening to in your free time? Like
Ooh.
what do you try, or I guess I know a lot of artists tend to try to not listen to music while they're recording stuff so
Mhm.
that they don't put too much influence. But is there anything that you're just kind of passively generally listening to that you're enjoying right now?
I listen to a lot of K-Tronada,
Awesome.
a lot of house music,
There you go.
a lot of Anderson Paak as well, and Childish Gambino. That's been like my sub influence. I feel like he is an influence to me just as a person.
Yeah.
I kind of have his like, I have his tendencies. I'm very awkward, and I love dry humor.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm just that guy.
I feel yeah. Now those are year-round listens for sure.
Yeah,
Okay. So my last question for you here.
dope.
What message would you like to pass off to the person who's going to listen to you for the first time?
Take these emotions that I put into music and attach them to yourself because we're all human and we've all felt the same thing once in our lifetime. The world only gets one you. And with that, be the best you, be legendary. Just feel the vibes, live for you, don't live for anyone else. And when you listen to me, it's almost like listening to yourself. Just understand that emotions are just to let go. You feel them all the time. They're just like memories. They come and go. So don't attach certain, emotions and energy and music and opinions and stuff. And don't let them identify you because we feel and we let go, we learn all the time. So we change all the time. And that's just like my music. I'm going to change. I'm going to grow. And you won't get the same me, but it'll still be me. So just like you.
I love that. Andy, this has been an absolute pleasure speaking with you. You're a super cool dude, and I cannot wait to hear whatever else is coming out. And it looks like there's more on the way at this point.
Awesome. Oh, yeah.
So for everyone else out there, SpeedRacer is out. Listen to it, stream it, make it part of your daily routine, and check out the rest of Andy's music as well. Follow him. If you're coming to this from the article link, we'll have everything below for you to follow along. But Andy, seriously, thank you so much for taking the time today.
No problem. Thank you.
Yeah,
I
man.
appreciate it.
I hope you have a good rest of your night, and we'll talk soon.
All right. You
All
too.
right. Take care.
Take care.
See you, man.